Okay, here is the final speech. There's Paul. Here is our 1, 2, and 3 party people. And go ahead, Paul, whenever you're ready.
Alright, good evening and welcome to my tribute speech. I am doing it on my brother Jim Engstrand. I felt Jim, my brother, would be worthy of a tribute speech because of his strong leadership skills and being a role model to so many people, including myself, my family, his friends, and also his political supporters. So just a little early days of Jim. My earliest memory of Jim is me being a little kid, probably 7 or 8 years old, and him taking care of me. You know, my parents from the family farm were busy, and once he got to that age, you know, it was one of those things where he was my big brother, and you look up to him. The things I remember most is watching movies with him, playing games, having good conversations. Background on Jim, he was born in 1967. He grew up around rural Alma, Wisconsin on our family dairy farm, where he learned to have a strong work ethic and responsibility. At the age of 16, my brother decided he wanted to go to a different high school, so he had obviously a couple challenges in itself. One, convincing my parents, and two, how do you go to another high school, how do you make ends meet? So he went on and put together a plan basically to a family, a friend, and farmer that lived over in Arcadia was willing to give him a place to stay, room and board, and then also pay him, but he also, along with being a high school student, pretty much had to be a full-time worker, you know, on the farm, nights, evenings, weekends. But along with that, Jim made time for the things that high school kids, you know, do. He was involved in sports, wrestling, track and field, and also a senior year was class president. So at that point in time, he was already starting to show some of those strong leadership skills that he had gained. Jim graduated in 1985. He went on to college. He got a 4-year degree. He also enlisted in the Army National Guard, and 2 years later he joined the ROTC. From there, which then he was commissioned into an infantry and sent to the Army Airborne School. Jim's discipline, persistence, and hard work helped him to go from private all the way up to his current rank of colonel. Jim has had many leadership type roles in his military career. One was he was an operations officer. He was a medical company commander. He was a deputy division's surgeon, chief medical operations and joint surgeon of the National Guard Bureau. And in 2009, as a lieutenant colonel, Jim, he was deployed to Iraq to the deputy division surgeon and officer of the Iraq Theater of Operations, where he did his deployment. In November 2010, Jim transferred to Army Reserve in March and was assigned to MedCom in Texas. In May 2011, Jim was finally promoted to full colonel, and that was always a goal ever since he got into the military, was to meet that milestone. Currently, Jim serves as a senior administrator of the FCC Team of Natural Disaster Medical System. Jim also owns and operates his own small business. Jim is the proud father of 3 kids, 1 grandkid, and currently another grandkid on the way. But if everybody that knows Jim, family, friends, everybody knows Jim's real passion is politics. Jim is a conservative Republican, and he's dabbled in politics, you know, a lot in his later life here. Most recently, Jim ran for Texas Congress District 36. He did come up short in the race. Out of 14 people that ran, he ended up coming in 4th. So really, in conclusion, you know, again, my brother continues to demonstrate great leadership skills in his Army career and in politics. He also is a kind person who would give his shirt off his back to anybody. I am truly blessed and lucky to have such a great brother like Jim.
Okay. And we are done. We're still here. Thank you, Paul.